Hey, Rick and Mike Thielens here of Cult Creators, and if you're struggling to grow your Skool MRR,
It could be because you may be getting buyers, but you don't have buy-in.
so the problem is most schoolers build for buyers, but buyers build a community of lurkers who just consume the content and they eventually just leave when they think they have everything they need.
And this leaves you on the content creation hamster wheel, always trying to create more and more content and value so that your members keep paying. But people don't want more information. They don't want more content. They don't want coaching calls to sit on, and they don't want to join another community that they're not going to engage in. But what people do want is to belong, which is great news for schoolers.
So if you can leverage this existential need for tribal belonging, then you can turn your lurkers into lifers and therefore increase your MRR simply by not having to replace more members every month.
This is how we helped Funk Roberts turn his failed membership into $1.2 million in 18 months because his members actually wanted to buy in and belong and pay month after month.
These are the same principles that Get Fit with Rick used to increase his MRR to $107,000 by teaching people how to walk, and he said he's bored most days.
And how Nerdy Nuts scaled to $16 million a year with 40,000 members because the members actually want to continue to buy and belong to this community.
Right out of high school, we dedicated ourselves to being epic marketers. We spent the next decade testing every tactic and strategy we could online. We were working with coaches, and as soon as we'd have a winning campaign or VSL, it would continue to fail, and we were right back to working nights and weekends to make it work. Then in 2017, we hit rock bottom. We were officially clientless, and so we made a vow to stop being better marketers and instead find out how to make our clients more marketable. So we lived at a cheap Mexican hostels while studying cults and the famous cult brands and human psychology to see how to create real buy-in. So we stacked these psychological principles and we put them to work inside coaching communities. And after 7 years of eating shit, we banked countless wins for coaches with communities, like Chandler, who made $130K from his community without ever touching it, Russell, who said he was getting more engagement from his $39 a month membership than from the guys who spent $20,000 to work with him. And we even had an ex-NASA guy who was working with our LTV and told us that our retention numbers were pretty insane.
So let me show you the 3 steps of the cult creator model that we use to get more traction, more engagement, and more retention for our communities. So the first step is our invite systems. We build out the tribe map for this collective mission, build the offer to sell it, and propaganda to get towards the offer. Because you can't grow your MRR without new members coming in the door. See, most people think that they have a marketing problem, and we know because we've been in digital marketing for 19 years, and we found it's almost always an offer problem. Like Daraj, he said he was going to shut down his membership site because he couldn't get his ads to convert. And he's like, it's a marketing problem. We're like, I think it's your offer. See, most community creators, they build their offer around the components, the value that they get, the features and benefits, right? Hoping that they get a good deal, pull out their credit card. But cult creators, we don't sell the membership. We sell the mission. So we need to get people bought into something bigger than themselves, what they call the isolated ego. So it's not about what they get. It's about the mission they're embarking on and your unique method, your way of getting them to this promised land. So selling the membership means they come for the content. Selling the mission means they come for the cause, right? People are selling the library while people are searching for their church. We do this by defining the collective mission that members subconsciously buy into so that they want to join, they want to pull out their credit card, they have FOMO for not being a part of it. Then we design our offer around this collective mission, not the contents in the classroom. People don't want information, they want transformation. And this is how you get them bought into a longer term commitment so they're not just focused on the content where they punch in, grab it all, and get out. And this is how you attract the right members who are the most likely to buy, to engage, to take action, and get results, the kind of results that help you grow your community from the inside. And it's how Daraj went from my marketing isn't working to getting 500 leads at 59 cents in his first week. So we build your invite systems, right? Build a mission for your people to buy into, build the sales doc to invite them in and take the money, and then build pieces of propaganda that push towards the offer to get them in. So part 2 is our indoctrination systems. So we indoctrinate, we have the rules, the rituals, and then we have the milestones to incentivize the journey. See, we need members to engage or they just become a lurker who's just ready to cancel. So most communities rely on fresh content or just posting random questions and just prodding people to engage, but it isn't sustainable and it just feels like fake friendship. But when members join and they feel an instant sense of belonging, we get more engagement. We get natural engagement. People feel like they're already a part of this community. That's why we don't just onboard into the community and hope that they engage, but cult creators, they onboard and indoctrinate so that they learn how to behave and belong, and it feels like one of us. And we do this by building out the classroom to include the manifesto, rules and rituals, and rewards, the MRR systems to get them to drink the Kool-Aid. See, how you set up your classroom can make or break your engagement. When we teach them how to behave and belong, we have more behavioral buy-in, we have more natural engagement, and an almost self-governing community. See, cult creators spend about an hour a day nurturing their community because it practically runs itself when you set it up this way. So part 2 of the cult creator method is to create the manifesto that rallies them behind the mission, the rules and rituals that teach them how to behave and belong, and the rewards and milestones that create dopamine to incentivize the journey ahead. So part 3 of the model is intensification system. We want to intensify this collective identity, this collective who we are in the community. We don't want members who just dip their toes in. We want members to drink the Kool-Aid and stick around for life, right? I'm a lifer, boom, I'm a lifer. And that's why we don't just rely on cheap retention tactics like an exit video or just annual pricing options. We need to build retention into the community and culture by intensifying the connection between the members, intensifying how they feel, which fulfills an existential need for belonging. So we do this by increasing similarity, status, and significance so they feel like one of us. So leaving the community feels like they're losing a part of themselves. And this is how we get them coming back and engaging, regardless of the content, regardless of your coaching rhythms and schedules. It will even have people stepping up to lead the community for you because they get a sense of pride and status when they get the results to help others, like Captain Bruce. And it's how you get members sticking around and continuing to pay month after month, even after they've consumed all the content and reached the goalpost. And how we get churn below 10% because members are oriented towards a greater mission with like-minded people, not just getting poked by cheap retention tactics and classroom modules. So the last step to building a banging culture that make your people chemically addicted to your community is we intensify this collective, right, through similarity systems. We make them feel significance each day in the community. And then we leverage a social hierarchy, which has them sticking around and fulfilling more and more of these existential human needs.
So if you're a schooler with a message to share and the balls to lead your people to greatness, and you want to 2x your school revenue and reduce your churn, then just smash that yellow button and let's get it.